The asset on the web page that's competing for your attention the most is imagery. So if we want to perform well, we need to communicate well with images, and better images mean better communication with our audience.
Welcome to the Real eCommerce podcast, your go-to for straight talk and smart tips from the world of online retail.
Hey, before we get into imagery, think about this in the reverse context. Have you ever loaded up a website and thought, oh, that's a lovely structure? Or, wow, haven't they got the search and navigation layout just perfect? No, you don't. They're things that need to be carefully thought about, but the best sites do this well, and they speak to like a subconscious appreciation. The asset on the web page that's competing for your attention the most is imagery. So if we want to perform well, we need to communicate well with images, and better images are gonna, mean better communication with our audience. That might mean we're using imagery to establish a brand identity or communicate product pain points and benefits, explain complicated processes, but ultimately, imagery is enhancing our users' engagement and their experience of our store. I'm going to talk about just 4 key e-commerce areas for graphics. They're going to be high quality images, infographics, visual storytelling, and promotions. So the first one, high quality images. Think about this as an enhancement of your presentation. When you shop online, one of the biggest shopping senses is removed, and that's your touch and feel. Touch and feel are an assessment of quality. When we walk into a store, we feel garments with our hands, we hold products. And when you shop online, all of that's gone. So great images actually help reduce uncertainty about appearance and quality. Premium imagery can actually help justify like a higher price point. They do this by sort of conveying like a superior quality and going into detail in the products themselves. So it's no surprise better product images have been directly linked with higher conversion rates. They allow customers to visualize the product in their lives, effectively sort of bridging the gap between online browsing and the physical shopping. So we should all be using the highest quality images we've got of our products, and that will aid to the conversion. Next, we've got infographics, and this try and think of as like simplifying your information. So infographics organize and simplify complex information, making it more digestible. Think about products with numerous features or technical specifications. Like infographics can help convey benefits quickly and effectively. I saw like an example of a health food diet the other day, and instead of listing all the ingredients in a text format, they showed you the diet as a pie chart, not an actual pie, but a pie chart, and the percentage of each section of the pie chart was the percentage that you needed to have of each food group. And then instead of just putting the food group word in each section, they actually did pictures of the types of foods that you should have. So in the veg section, for example, they had broccoli and carrots and garlic, and that comprised of say 25%. So the pie chart was 25% of the overall circle, and then you could see what foods you should be eating in that group without using text. Stuff like that sticks with you way more than the text equivalent. And it's also better for your retention and recall of this information, a later date. So your retention of this information is far higher. If you do a good job explaining, then you'll likely, stick in the customer's mind and increase your chances of them coming back. Finally, on infographics, they're probably the most effective when you do like side-by-side comparisons. So when you're doing side-by-side comparisons of, say, price or features or benefits. One example, I was shopping online at the weekend in a garden centre, and I was after a storage box, and I was looking at 2 that they had, and on both, they had like a build time listed as a graphics. I am absolutely terrible at stuff like, building and, putting things, assembling things. So the lower the build time for me was definitely a key selling feature. And they just did it as like a clock face. And although they had the build time listed underneath in the time text format, so like 45 minutes, they also did the watch face colored in 3/4 to signify 45 minutes build time. And I could see that at a glance across a number of different products. They also did the same with the volume. So they had like like a bucket and a percentage of it filled, and then the amount of volume that was available with that storage box. And again, that really quickly allowed me to see how quick is it going to be and how much storage is there, or how much volume of storage is there. It was a great visual guide for me, and it helped me make a purchase. So think about using infographics in that way, explain complicated things, make the information more digestible, make it more memorable. So that's it for infographics. The next one is visual storytelling. So imagine this as more of an emotional engagement with your customer. We're all telling stories online. Some people post what their pet had for breakfast. Other people show pictures of their fancy holidays they've just been on. But what really makes a lot of us happy is when people start liking it, sharing it, engaging with the content that we've created. So why should it be any different for an e-commerce store? If we create stories that show off our products, how they help solve problems, how fun they are to use, how much richer our lives are because of them, then they'll get shared and they'll help expand your reach. Lifestyle images are my favorite because they sell an experience and they sell a lifestyle that product represents. They're really compatible with social media, and are great for content like newsletters and promotions. So when you go and invest in these images, you're not just going to use it on the website. You're going to use it in your marketing. You're going to use it in your newsletters. You're going to use it, in any printed format that you might use. So really investing in this visual storytelling is going to help. People are often driven by emotions more when making a purchase. So lifestyle images tap into these emotions by creating a narrative around the products that align with their aspirations or desires or their needs. It's more than just images, though. So at the end of the day, they're like a marketing tool. They influence perception, they enhance engagement, and they really do drive sales of your products. So if you remember back in episode 1 of the podcast, we went through like a football field analogy from Tony Robbins, and it kind of gave you some structure to your landing page copy, which said it's got 2 principles: the hell if you don't, and the heaven if you do. So if you haven't listened to that, go back to episode 1 and take another listen. But perhaps if you shut your eyes for a second, obviously not if you're driving or operating heavy machinery or doing something where you shouldn't have your eyes shut, but shut your eyes for a second, and let's imagine we're going to talk about a product that helps relieve back pain. So in our product, let's say it's a heated massage belt that you wrap around your waist. So if we start by telling the story about the reduced lifestyle, this is the hell if you don't. With the product images, you're going to be able to show things like you're struggling to move. You might struggle to get into the car. You have a bad night's sleep because of this back pain. You struggle to perform simple household tasks like gardening or mowing the lawn or something like that. Now, if you think about the increased lifestyle with the back pain helped or cured, this is the heaven if you do. You can imagine someone playing golf or playing with their grandkids, enjoying a holiday, walking the dog, whatever it is. You've now alleviated that problem in your mind with those images. So the way you've just thought about all those situations in your mind is visually. You created images in your mind and you saw the pain and you saw the cure, or you saw the heaven if you do. And how much more powerful were those images in your mind than the written equivalent? They also make the website look, way more professional. So be consistent with your use of color in images and the styles and the theme as well, because that will help you build a brand and brand recognition that aids to trust, and that will help with better conversion rates and more returning customers. Finally, we've got promotions. So this is contextual messaging. The 2 major types of messaging we see in promotions are get X off or save X. So get X off is like a very action orientated phrase. It suggests that you've got to kind of get an immediate benefit, but requires a sense of urgency from the customer. Get 30% off till midnight, for example. I was sold a mattress with this principle at the weekend. It was a bank holiday weekend, and they said get 30% off if you purchase before the end of midnight on Monday. And that created that time urgency that I had to do it today because I was looking on Monday. And that got the sale for that particular brand. So X off is normally, associated with a sense of urgency, something that you've got to do, but you get an immediate benefit. Save X is a more conservative kind of sales strategy, and it appeals to budget conscious shoppers, and for those who want to make savings on regular purchases. So think about, Boots do this brilliant, save 15% on skincare. Well, that's kind of thinking about someone that regularly buys that product and is going to come to your brand because you offer a competitive price compared to, others in that same market. When do we use these? Well, if you're in sale and there's a time limiting factor, the key driver here should be get X off because of that sense of urgency. Save X, on the other hand, should be used, when you're discounting against RRP, or you've got multi-buy savings or price drops. And this is where the shopper is more budget focused, or they're more regularly purchased items from your range. Interestingly, discounts need more than 10% to be seen as significant. So imagine a Black Friday event that was 5% off this Black Friday. You probably wouldn't even bother going to the website. So any big sales events, you're gonna need to make sure, or any interest that you want in your sale, the significant level is 10% or higher. The winner really with promotions, and we're all suckers for these, is the buy one get one free promo. This is actually preferred by nearly 70% of shoppers. So so much so that they would probably prefer getting a buy one get one free over getting something cheaper. The bog off offer is effectively 50% off, so it's a big discount. But if you're trying to move volume, as a retailer, then you're better off with buy one get one free than giving away 50%. Some would argue, actually, if you do the maths and depending on your product margin, a buy one get one free is better than giving away 30% on a single item purchase. But again, it depends on your margins. Being confident with promotions also creates a positive brand image. And remember, promotions don't always have to be discounts. They can be pricing strategies as well. We've got a full white paper. We'll put it in the notes of whatever format you're listening on. So we've got a full white paper, effective e-commerce discounts and pricing strategies. We call it Retail Mind Games. So go download that. It'll be free. In summary, then, the strategic use of high quality images and infographics, visual storytelling of promotions, they not only enhance the aesthetic appeal of the brand, but they also serve as like a really important communication function. They help convey product benefits. They simplify complex buying information. They build emotional connections, and ultimately they drive engagement and conversions, which is what we want. A visual content, as visual content continues to dominate the user's attention in stores, like mastering these skills becomes essential. And it's really good for any brand that's looking to build a strong presence or a competitive edge online. Don't be afraid to experiment. Go and play around with your images, go and get some edge, and good luck.
Follow the Real eCommerce podcast and visit realagency.co.uk for more e-commerce content like this.